welcome for the latest instalment of RedArmyTV, and its apologies straight away. If the voice lasts, it's a miracle. Call me a buffoon if you like, I'll fully accept it. Got a cold over Christmas and New Year, went to Preston and shouted myself hoarse, so it might not last. With me in the studio is going to pull me right out of the mire when I can't talk anymore. Immediately on my right, or which way around is it? It's going to be, yeah, on my left, your side, is Joe Nick. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good to see you on the couch.
Yeah, good Christmas.
See you outside, yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Normally we see you standing outside the Riverside, giving us your thoughts on the game, which you're continuing to do. And Barry Thomas joins us on the wing there with cracking shirt.
Yeah,
I remember that. I'm old.
Blast from the past.
Yeah. Is there a story behind it, or is it a...
Well, I was talking to one of your backroom staff, and we were on about when we did Sunderland in the Cup in the mid-70s, and we got on about the shirt we wore that day, so we thought we would give it an airing.
Fantastic. Good stuff. It's not an original, is it?
No, I wish it was.
Yeah, no, if it was, I'd be offering you money for it. Excuse me, I'm going to be coughing throughout the show, I'm absolutely sure of it. If you'd like to be part of the show, you can. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, it's RedArmyTV or hashtag RedArmyTV. You can also Twitter us. Send us a message via Twitter. It will come up on the screen at Boro Red Army. Right, let's get into it, fellas. Preston, that was the most recent. Joe, I'll start with you. How pleasurable is it to see the Boro finally, though they only did it 50% of the game, roll their sleeves up and get stuck in?
Yeah, it was a huge win, wasn't it, against a promotion rival. I think under Gary Monk we only beat two sides in the top half of the table, already beaten one under Pulis. And I think that the most impressive bit was the way that we turned it around. We weren't great in the first half, made some tactical substitutions in the second half and turned the game around. And we haven't really seen that too much this season. Once we've gone behind, we've usually gone on to lose a game or draw the game. But to turn it around and the point swing, it was a 6-pointer really, wasn't it, to move ahead of them, and really makes the table look a lot better going into the next round of fixtures.
Barry, what about the way he handled the substitutions? It's an interesting one. He didn't take off Britt and Guardiola at half-time like he could have done, and he probably wanted to do. Send them back out. 5 minutes later went, double substitution, get off, fellas.
Strange one. The only thing I can think of is he maybe had a look at what Preston were going to do, because we've seen it before. You make subs at half-time, they make subs, and they just cancel each other out. Maybe that 3 to 5 minutes that he did was what he thought was a game changer, and it certainly was. It certainly was.
Could it have been a kick up the backside, though? Could it have been a message he wanted to send out to the big names?
Possibly, because the transformation was unreal. Going from what Joe said there, I mean, I think he said we weren't too good in the first half. I would think it was worse than that. It was as bad as we've seen the first half. They could have been out of sight, in all honesty. And then, a couple of substitutions, and all of a sudden, it wasn't that we were getting beaten, we turned the game around. We turned the whole thing around. The whole performance was turned on its head massively.
I've got to tip my hat off to Preston fans, or a couple of Preston fans on social media who put in comments like, Boro battered us in the second half, all credit to them. There was only one winner, one deserved winner, and it was Boro, so they were being honest on that. Stu Bradley, I'm with you, mate. Getting some messages coming in as well. Voice still hurting after my trip to Deepdale. Hope it's better for Saturday. You're not the only one, mate. Listen to me. I'm like the back end of a horse. There's another one here. Stu Wallace. Joe, we've got to feel sorry for him. Sat in a lovely hot steaming bath, trying to shake off the dreaded man flu. Mate, I'm sitting here doing the job. Get out of the bath, or at least open a can. Save me your water. I'll be there after the show, mate. With you out of the bath, I may add. Joe, what can you read into Preston? Is it too soon? Or can you read? Can you take anything out of it?
I think what's clear with the Preston game and the Villa game, which I think we're going to come on to later, is the style of play. There's clarity there now. There's more of an identity. It's clear how Tony Pulis wants to play. Wants to get the ball forward quickly. We saw it in the Villa game using Ryan Shotton with the long throw-ins. Gusted looks like he's going to be a key player now for us, and we didn't really have that under Gary Monk. We didn't really look like we had an idea of how we wanted to play, and I think under Pulis now, we've got that identity back, and it will take time. We haven't got too much time because obviously the games come thick and fast, and we need to get those points. But I think there's a clear plan there now, which is important, and hopefully it'll help us going forward. Yeah,
good stuff. The views of Joe. Let's get your views. The fan rants on the Red Army coach coming back from Preston. This is what you had to say.
We said rubbish. When we scored the first goal, we seemed all right. But then they got the 2 goals afterwards, and we were lucky not to be 4 or 5 down in the first half. We had some bad players. We had Sombalanga up front on his own. Just can't play on his own. He can't hold the ball up. His second touch is terrible. The Managerial was absolutely brilliant. The second half when he changed it round and he put Instead up front and played the long ball onto him, he won almost everything and we looked a different team.
First half when Randolph was kicking it up and Preston was heading it, he was heading it to nobody. No one was there, then kept on getting the ball from us.
Happy with the scoreline?
Yeah.
How happy?
Really.
First half was absolutely abysmal. Like, nobody tried, you know what I mean? But it seems like after time, Tony Pulis going to kick up the arse. Brought Gested on, changed the game, you know what I mean? Held the game up, brought something to the game that we needed.
Go on, son, get your
Managerial actually put a pot of shift in as well, compared to what he usually did. No, he's actually tracking back in that as well. So I was fuming at half time, I'm not going to lie. Everyone was looking at me because I was shouting. But I'll take the 3 points.
The first half was a bit poor, but second half I thought played really well. Traore was okay. Disappointed with the fans' reaction, with the boos and stuff like that. So I'm more happy for my point of view that the Bull boys didn't get their own way today.
Yeah, thanks for that. We're also taking the coach to QPR. The details have just gone up on the website. People are already booking it. It's becoming pretty popular. Barry, we were just touching on Pulis a little bit earlier. How good is it to see a bit of a no-nonsense approach?
I think it's what we needed. I mean, if you'd have asked me at the start of the season, you know, Pulis, is he the man? I just don't want him there. But I think once we got to Christmas and we could see how the season was going, I think he's what we need. We need an experienced, no-nonsense. And I think when he actually joined, he said he knows it's results that we need. He knows promotion is like the aim. But Steve's asked me to look at the club as a whole. And to me, that just tells you that something needs sorting behind the scenes. And he's obviously entrusted him to do it.
We'll hear from him shortly, Joe, but he's also come out and said it's a massive squad. He's never seen a squad so big. So we are expecting changes this month, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, obviously he said it. He's a lot bigger than the squad he was with at West Brom beforehand. So I think what's important with that is he wants to get a good team ethos there, a good team ethic. He doesn't want too many players sat out on the sideline. Good players as well. I mean, you look at the players we brought in. We brought a lot of players in at the summer. Didn't really get rid of that many players that had got promoted with us the first time. So it's kind of a bit unfair, isn't it? The likes of Adam Clayton, Patrick Bamford, Adam Forshaw, good players that are sitting on the sideline, and he doesn't really want them to be sat out in training or in the match day squads. Unhappy players he was talking about, having more of them than happy players. What he's talking about is he can have 11 who will play and they'll be happy, but there's many more who can't play in the first 11. And he's never seen a situation like that, so I expect many changes. Let's catch up with what you had to say on social media. Here's Matt with the details.
Okay, it's a new year and a new start, so let's see what you guys have been saying on Twitter, starting off with Size Insights. You've put, it may be controversial for me to admit this, but barring Ashley Fletcher, the first choice Boro forward that impresses me least is Britt Assombalonga. It's easy to defend him by pointing at his goals, but the money spent means that it's the least we should expect from him. Jake at JRS97, you've put, don't care what anyone says, Stuart Downing has been our best player for a good year now. It's been superb this season and was one of the few players to come out last season with any real credit. Charlie Skellett, you've put, watched highlights at work and can't help notice how slow we are to close people down within 25 yards of our goal. Every goal we concede must come from allowing easy crosses and defending poorly at the back stick. And finally, Yusuf, you've put, is Pulis the man to get the best out of Adama? Many tipped him to be first out once Pulis was appointed, but judging by his first 2 games, Adama appears to be very much in the manager's plans. Keep your social media comments coming into us here at Boro Red Army. And back to you, Dave.
Thanks for that, matey. There are your views on social media. You can message the show. We're live. All you got to do is hashtag RedArmyTV. Go to Facebook Live. Throw your message on there. They are coming in as we speak, and the voice is still holding. I'm happy about that. Quick poll went up, fellas. We threw a poll up there because we heard the rumours. Obviously, we heard Fabio is going, and the club confirmed that, or Pulis confirmed that. But Bamford also was referenced, wasn't he, in possibly leaving. So we threw up a quick question on the poll saying, suggested Bamford now deemed surplus to requirements. Is he? 70% no way, keep him was the outcome. 30% just yes, it was good while it lasted, and it did split the Red Army office as well. I'm going to take a short break, fellas. What we'll do is we'll chew over very briefly the Villa game. Obviously, not as good an outcome as Deepdale. We're all delighted with the 3 points there. Villa, different kettle of sprats. We'll dig into that very shortly on Red Army TV. Don't forget to get your comments through. # Red Army TV.
For years we've been competing against each other. A very, very good appointment.
There's a very big, I think this squad is bigger than the squad I left behind at West Brom. There's a lot of numbers here, a lot of players here, too many from my view.
What are your thoughts on Fabio leaving?
I've just heard that it's because of his family, but if it's not because of his family, I'm a bit gutted, to be honest. He's one of the players that always probably puts like 110% in and that, so big gutted. Like, he's better than George Friend. So I don't know what we're doing there, left back. We're going to have no left back here, hopefully he brings a left back in.
So he should stay. If he doesn't want to be here, doesn't matter who you are, don't stay here. Simple as that.
Well, if he's not going to get a game, then fair play to the lad. He's done no wrong. I thought he was our best player at left back, right back, should I say. I thought he was our best player at right back.
Welcome back. It's RedArmy.tv. Joe Nicholson with us in the studio on the couch, and we were going to ask you to tell us all about the Villa game, but you're on the couch, mate. So rather than play your report, we'll talk to you about that.
Now, okay.
If that's okay with you, we'll do it very shortly.
Yeah.
So apologies for not showing your report that
That's
you
all right.
kindly sent us, but let's get into stuff. Let's get into stuff here. We've talked Preston. Before Preston, the Boro played Villa, the 1-0 defeat, as bitter as a pill it was to swallow at the Riverside. But interestingly, Steve Bruce, a member of the old boys brigade, the old managers boys brigade, knows Tony Pulis well. This is what he had to say after the game about the Boro's new boss.
Well, we've been in it a long, long time. For years we've been competing against each other. A very, very good appointment. He knows what to do, how to get teams promoted, and he's a very, very good man too. So but I'm delighted I've beaten him like he would want to beat me, you know. So I'll go and have a glass of red with him and welcome him to the northeast.
Barry, what he was saying effectively was he's a good guy, he's an experienced guy, and he knows how to get teams promoted, which he did with Stoke, of course, second highest goal scorers the year that Stoke came up. What are your overall thoughts on his appointment?
Like I said earlier, he wouldn't have been my first choice, but I think now he's exactly what we need, and I think we need an experienced manager. And if you look back at the history of our managers recently, they've all been quite rookie. You know, they've all been like first jobs, or they've been assistants and come over. So yeah, it's probably exactly what we need.
Somebody will smash teacups, won't be afraid to get in players' faces. They'll basically say it's my way or you're out, fellas.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's what we need at the moment. If you believe what you tend to hear, you know, what's going on behind the scenes and that, I just think that, you know, we need someone to shake it up and just do it slightly different. It just, I mean, Monk, I wouldn't say I was against him when he came in, and I don't know whether he got full time, but it wasn't going right. It wasn't what we expected. We needed a change, so why change it for the same? You might as well, you know, turn it on its head and bring someone in totally different and have another approach.
Joe, his first game in the dugout with the cap. I was going to wear the cap, wasn't I? Hang on, I just better get the cap.
And the tracksuit.
This is my tribute, not to Donald Trump, but this is my tribute to Tony Pulis, because of course he always wears a cap on the side. First game Villa, 1-0 defeat.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
I didn't think we deserved to lose the game. I thought first half we were arguably the better side. I think it's come down to one lapse in concentration, hasn't it? Adoma's put the ball in, Snodgrass unmarked at the back post, and that's the difference. But as I was saying before, I think the encouraging bit was we could see what Pulis was trying to do. You know, he was trying to get the ball forward quickly, and that's what you get from him. He's got an identity, he's got a way of playing, and that's what Boro I think have lacked in the first kind of half of the season. So that was good to see. But I think the downside was the 3 points going to Villa really, and it seems to have kick-started their season. They won 5-0, didn't they, the last game? So. Yeah,
please don't mention the name Snodgrass. Please don't.
Losing to promotion rivals there. That was the real downside of that result.
Amy Buttery's sent a message in via Facebook Live. Do you think Pulis will make changes on? It's going. The voice is going. Do you think Pulis will make changes on Saturday against Sunderland or play the full team? Personally, I would love Dimmy to get a run out. What do you reckon?
I think he'll make a couple of changes. As he said before, he's working with players that he's previously never worked before, so he wants to have a good look at the squad before making any decisions in January. He said that in his press conference, didn't he? To be fair to Steve Gibson, he spent a lot of money. He wants to have a look at the players that Middlesbrough have got and make a proper judgment before either selling them or keeping them in January. So expect a couple of changes, yeah.
Just maybe a quick one for you, Barry. Stuart Wallace has sent one in saying, let's say we move on Clayton Forshaw, that Watford lad, I think it's quite an order, Bamford, Baker, Thomas, Fabio, who replace our current first 11 when suspensions and injuries kick in?
Yeah, I mean, games come thick and fast in the Championship, so you do need a squad. You know, I don't think it can go down to a core 13, if you like, but, you know, you've got to say that we are top heavy as well. When you mention some of them names, you mentioned names of players there that haven't been playing for the last few weeks. You know, so like we've said earlier, we don't want an unhappy squad. You don't want good players on the sideline causing trouble. So if they want to play football and they're not going to get a game here, we will have to move them on.
Well, we are going to move on, or we are going to move players on. It came out of the boss's lips. These are the thoughts of Tony Pulis on how big that squad is and how he needs to cut it down immediately after the Villa game.
There's a very big. I think this squad is bigger than the squad I left behind at West Brom. There's a lot of numbers here, a lot of players here, too many from my view. And there's some players that you don't know, and I have to obviously assess the group. I think the important thing is for everybody to realise is that Steve spent an absolute fortune here in the summer, and I've, out of respect for him, I've really got to be prudent with what I do and what I don't do, and look at things and not make rash decisions, and that's what I'll do. And if it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of time. But I want to be fair to the fella because he has spent a lot of money on this squad. The squad is definitely too big. I don't like big squads. I think that, and this is nothing against anybody. I just think that there's more players outside the 11 than what there is playing. So you'll always get more people not happy that they're not playing, not happy that they're not involved. So that we definitely will cut it.
Tony Pulis, the new Boro boss, just like to say, Billy Ashcroft, what a man. We love having you on. Welcome, Billy. We've just seen you've just logged in to RedArmy.tv. We want you on the couch, mate. Next time you're back on Teesside, do a Wednesday night and we'll get you live on the couch. The Billy Ashcroft, who wore that shirt. Well, maybe not.
No,
maybe it was after that shirt. Tell you what we'll do, fella. We'll talk a bit more about Pulis. We'll look at Sunderland, but not before we've caught up on what's happening in and around Boroland. Here's Boro in 60 seconds with Matt.
How you doing? Matt Bland here with Boro in 60 seconds. Starting off with Fabio de Silva. He's set to return to Brazil this month after requesting to leave Middlesbrough for personal reasons. The 27-year-old fullback wants to return to his homeland to be near his wife and daughters. New Middlesbrough manager has left Fabio out of the squad for both his matches in charge, and the former Manchester United trainee posted a New Year's message on Instagram that was effectively a farewell to his current employers. The transfer window is open, but don't expect Middlesbrough to make a mad dash into the market, reports local newspaper The Evening Gazette. Tony Pulis' Boro reign is just a week old and he's vowed to take his time on Teesside with plenty of key decisions being made over the coming days and weeks.
I've really got to be prudent with what I do and what I don't do, and look at things and not make rash decisions, and that's what I'll do. And if it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of time.
And if you've got any stories or events you wish to feature on our news segment, then get them sent in to us here at studio@redarmy.tv. More Boro in 60 seconds next week. Now back to Dave in the studio.
Oh, cracking stuff. Thank you for that, Mark. We've got Sunderland to talk about, but before we do, the serious matter of Leo and what's happening with the Perkovic family. The great news is Leo and his wife and the son are now out of hospital. I don't know whether you've noticed it, but there's a GoFundMe appeal going on. Started out of Miami, I think it was, in Florida, by one of Leo's friends, and they're trying to raise $20,000 to pay for hospital bills and for things that they're going to need for care and support. If you fancy doing your bit for Leo, the Perkovic family, then I think $6,715 as we came on air is the amount that's been raised so far. Trying to raise $20,000. Just do a search, Leo Perkovic, GoFundMe. We'll put all the details up on our social media pages as well. Fellas, Sunderland, the small matter, the not so small matter of a Teesside derby.
Yeah.
What do you fancy, mate?
Obviously, straight win. But I think we will see changes. Like we said before, Pulis wants to have a look at the squad. But I think it's a good time to play Sunderland as well. They've got a lot of injuries right now. They've just hit rock bottom of the Championship. But feel slightly less confident than when we played them in the league, simply because they've brought in a new manager now in Chris Coleman, and I think he's a bit more tactically. He's got a bit more tactical nous about him, hasn't he? Than
And I was just going to touch on that with Barry.
Yeah.
Coleman, he's a wily old fox, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's managed at national level, international level, should I say? Did a cracking job with Wales, and yeah, it makes me wonder like how he hasn't got things moving quicker, to be fair.
I think it's a poor squad, really.
Yeah.
So let's go for predictions, because we're running out of time. What are you going to go for, Joe?
2-0.
2-0?
Yeah, I'm tempted to go same 2-0. I'd like it to be 3. I'd like to do them good and proper.
I'm assuming this is the Boro who are winning, fellas. Stupid question.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'll go for a 2-0 Boro win as well, so we'll all go for 2-0. And I did win at 33-1 at Deepdale. Fantastic. Fellas, we're out of time. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us on the programme. See you next week.